श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। वागीशाद्यास्सु मनसः सर्वार्थानामुपक्रमे यन्नत्वा कृतकृत्यास्यस्तन्नमामि गजाननं। शारदा शारदाम्भोजवदना वदनाम्बुजे सर्वदा सर्वदास्माकं सन्निधिं क्रियात्। प्रमाणनखनिर्भिन्नमहामोहामरारये नमस्कुर्मो नृसिंहाय स्वप्रकाशचिदात्मने। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। शङ्कारूपेण मच्चित्तं पङ्कीकृतमभूद्यया किङ्करीयस्य सामाया शङ्कराचार्यमाश्रये। प्रह्लादवरदो देवो यो नृसिंहः परो हरिः नृसिंहोपासकं नित्यं तन्नृसिंहगुरुं भजे। श्रीसच्चिदानन्दशिवाभिनव्यनृसिंहभारत्यभिधान्यतीन्द्रान् विद्यानिधीन् मन्त्रनिधीन् सदात्मनिष्ठान् भजे मानवशम्भुरूपान्। सदात्मध्याननिरतं विषयेभ्यः पराङ्मुखं नौमि शास्त्रेषु निष्णातं चन्द्रशेखरभारतीं। विवेकिनं महाप्रज्ञं धैर्यौदार्यक्षमानिधिं सदाभिनवपूर्वं तं विद्यातीर्थगुरुं भजे। अज्ञानाञ्जाह्नवीतीर्थं विद्यातीर्थं विवेकिनां सर्वेषां सुखदन्तीर्थं भारतीतीर्थमाश्रये। विद्याविनयसम्पन्नं वीतरागं विवेकिनं वन्दे वेदान्ततत्त्वज्ञं विधुशेखरभारतीम्। यस्य निःश्वसितं वेदाः यो वेदेभ्योऽखिलं जगन्निर्ममे तमहं वन्दे विद्यातीर्थमहेश्वरम्। With namaskaras to the Padapadmas of the Ubhaya Jagat Gurus, Sharadamba and the entire Guru Parampara. Today we are here to talk about the meanings of some of the Sandhyavandana mantras. So first we need to understand what Sandhyavandanam is. So Sandhyavandana is a Nitya Karma enjoined by the Vedas itself, and it takes many forms depending on the Gotra, depending on the family, depending on the part of India that you're from. Not everyone's Sandhyavandana looks the same. Not every family's Sandhyavandana looks the same, at least I should say. So we need to look at some of the common ground. So the parts of Sandhyavandana, you can roughly separate Sandhyavandana into three parts. So everything up to and including the Arghya, then Gayatri Japa and Upasthana. So up until the Arghya Pradhana is when you take the water into your hands, tell Gayatri Mantra and offer it to Surya Bhagavan. So before that there are some mantras like the Jalapana mantras. They are called Jalapana mantras in Veda, in the Veda Bhashya. So like Suryascha Mamanyashcha in the morning, Apah Punanta Prithivim in the afternoon, and Agnischa Mamanyashcha in the evening. So this is called Jalapana mantra. This is common throughout all Sandhyavandanas. In the same way, giving Arghya is also common. In the same way, Gayatri Japa of course is common. That is the second part of Sandhyavandana. So the Sankalpa to take Gayatri, and then the Anuvaka before Ayati Tinuvakasya Vamdeva Rishihi, all of that. Ayata Varada Devi Aksharam Brahma Samvitam Gayatri Chandasam Mataha Matedam Brahma Jashasvame. All of that, those Anuvakas. There are small changes as we will talk about. Matedam Brahma Jashasvame, Matedam Brahma Jashasvanaha. Small changes like that are there in the mantra itself, but this mantra as a whole is the same. And then of course the Gayatri mantra japa, the Anganyas and Karanyas for all of that is the same. And then in the Upasthana, the mantras that we tell in the morning, Mitrasi Charshanidrataha, in the afternoon, Asatya Rajasa, in the evening, Imamme Varanashruti Hava, those mantras are the same. Besides this, there are many variations in everything else. But there are some mantras that are common to all, and those are the mantras that will be generally be talking about. Now, it will be very hard to cover every single mantra that could potentially come up. So instead, what we have opted to do is, in the ends of the Vedas, you have the Upanishad Bhaga. So the ends of the Aranyaka Bhagas are called the Upanishads. So of the Krishna Yajurveda, the Upanishad is Taittiriya, generally speaking, for the Taittiriya Shaka. So in that we have three vallis, Shikshavalli, Anandavalli and Bhruguvalli. So there is a Khila Bhaga of the Brihadaranyaka that is called Narayaniya. It is called a Yajniki Upanishad. So this is also common for all Krishna Yajurvedans. So we actually learn this as well when you tell Veda, and you can also hear this chanted every Guru Purnima, when as Acharyas do Vyasa Puja, or as the Acharyas do all the Guru Pujas on that day. You can hear the Veda Panditas below the stage chanting this particular Upanishad. It is called Mahanarayanam or Mahanarayana Upanishad. So within this, we get some of the Sandhyavandana mantras that we get. We will only be looking at those in as much detail as time allows us to. So, one of the mantras that, as I said, is very important is the Jalapana mantra. So, Sandhyavandana generally falls into one of two things. The mantras, or all of the kriyas, all of the sub-activities that we do within the process of Sandhyavandana accomplishes one of two purposes. And these are the same purposes that every single Nitya Karma is meant to perform. One is getting rid of our doshas, any impurities we may have, any sins we may have committed. You cannot get rid of the Papa Phala itself, but you can mitigate the Papa Phala, and you can get rid of the Papa Samskara, right? The effect that the Papa has on our mind and the tendencies that ill actions bring upon us. Someone that steals is more likely to steal again in the future. And so we'll see how all of that comes into the mantra as well. But so some parts of our Nitya Karmas are meant to do this, to cull our impurities, to wash away our impurities. The second part is meant to do Bhagavad Dhyana, to give us a way to worship Bhagavan, and specifically to do Upasana of Bhagavan in some way or the other. So these two combined constitute the goals of our Nitya Karma. So that also we will see. So we'll be splitting this talk into two parts. So there will be one part today and then one part in, I think, about a week's time. So we will not be discussing the Upasthana mantras as they do not occur in Mahanarayana, but we will talk about some of the mantras that lead up to the Arghya in this session. And then in the session after that, we will talk about the mantras relating to the Gayatri Japa, why Pranayama is done with Gayatri, and then the actual Gayatri Avahana itself, and then the nature of Gayatri mantra. So all of that we will look at later. But for now, we will be starting with the Jalapana mantra. So after you do the first Achamana, after you take the Sankalpa to do Pratha Sandhya, this usually comes right after you take the Sankalpa to do Sandhya of all three parts. So you will take the water into your hand, tell this mantra and drink it. This is common to all three Sandhyas, morning, afternoon and evening. Only thing is the mantra changes, but the prakriya is the same. So you take the water into your hand, you tell the entire mantra and then you take the water in. Whenever a mantra is used with a dravya, only after the mantra is finished, only after chanting the mantra is complete, should that dravya then be used. For example, it is customary that as you eat, you need to sprinkle the water. For those who have had Upanayana, you need to sprinkle the food with water while telling the Gayatri mantra. So some people will just take the water and sprinkle it as they tell Gayatri mantra. That is not the way it is supposed to be done. You should hold the water in your hand, finish telling Gayatri mantra and then sprinkle it. Because you are not sprinkling water, you are sprinkling the mantra. The water is merely the host, the carrier of the mantra's properties, of the mantra's effect. So, whenever we do anything, it is important that you finish the mantra before doing anything with the water, or with anything else for that matter. So, the same way here also, as you tell the mantra, you need to finish telling the mantra and then take the water in to have the intended effect. What is the intended effect? That we will see through the mantra. So the first mantra that they have told is the mantra for Jalapana in the Madhyanika Sandhya. So there is one Samaya means a Sampradaya, that when Veda is being discussed for the sake of understanding the meaning, there is no need to follow Swara. So as this is a public forum, we can definitely go with that. Apah punantu prithivim, prithivī pūtā punātumam, punantu brahmanaspatir, brahma pūtā punātumam, yaducchishtam abhojyam yadva dushcharitam mama, sarvam punantu māmāpaha asatāncha pratigraham svaha. Pratigrahagga svaha is how you will tell the mantra, because you will get the g in Yajurveda, in Krishna Yajurveda. But otherwise the word is asatāncha pratigraham svaha. So what does this mantra mean? We are asking the jala itself. So the Avataranика says, Madhyanika Sandhyanusthane. So while doing the Madhyanika Sandhya, Abhimantrita Jalapanartham Mantramaha. Notice this is not just Jalapana, not just drinking water. Abhimantrita Jala. You are drinking water that has been imbued with a mantra. So what is that mantra? Apah punantu prithivim. May the water I have in my hand purify the earth I am sitting on. Now here, we will mainly be following Sayanacharya's Bhashya, but there are some things that spring to mind from Bhattavaskara's Bhashya also. And I will tell those as they come to mind and as we see necessary. So, may the water purify the earth that I am the ground, the earth that I am sitting on. Why is it that water is being called upon to purify earth? Or for that matter, why is it that water is used to purify anything? If you notice in Sanatana Dharma, what do we do when we want to clean anything? You sprinkle water on it, right? As I said, when you eat the food, you sprinkle Gayatri Mantra. Every day when you take a bath, you're washing yourself with water. Before you put Naivedya, you sprinkle water on it. Right? Even before, if you look at Acharyas do puja, even before they start the puja, they will tell a mantra and then sprinkle all the dravyas, all the cups, all the plates, everything is sprinkled with water. So why is it that water holds the secret to purify? So there Bhattavaskara writes, Karanatmana karyashuddhihi, karyashuddhihi, karanashuddhihi, karyashuddhihi. So if the karana is pure, the karya will be pure. Right? So if the cause is pure, the effect will be purified. So if you want to make a pot pure, you make sure that the mud is pure. If you want to make sure that a cloth is completely white, you need to make sure that the threads you use to weave that cloth are white. So in the same way, Jala is the Karana of Prithvi. Right? In the sequence of the Panchabhutas, you have Akashad Vayu, Vayor Agnihi, Agne Rapaha, Adhyaha Prithvi. So Prithvi is born from Jala, from water. So therefore, the Karana, the cause, namely water, is used to attain Shuddhi of the effect, which is Prithvi. So therefore we are calling upon the water, Apuh Punantu Prithivim, Prithvi Puta Punatumam, and may this earth, thus purified, purify me. Again, why is the earth purifying me? Because Prithivya Oshadhaya Oshadibhyana Mannat Purusha. So by Parampara, Prithvi is giving rise to the Purusha, the individual. So we seek the Jala to purify the Prithvi and Prithvi to purify us. And also because our Sharira is also Parthiva, right? This is called the Parthiva Sharira, because the gross body is mainly made up of Prithvi. In terms of the percentages of the Panchabhutas, it is mostly Prithvi. So therefore water also has the capacity to clean Prithvi, and also Prithvi has the capacity to clean the Purusha. So both of those are there. So Punatu, Prithvi Mam Punatu. Punatu means made purify. So may Prithvi purify me, the sadhaka. In the same way, Punantu Brahmanaspatihi. So Brahmanaspatihi, Brahmanaha Patihi. Apaha Punantu. So we are asking here actually not only the water's protection for us, but also for the Adhyapaka. So whoever is teaching Veda. So Brahma, the word Brahma has many meanings. It means Brahmana, Parabrahma, Chaturmukha Brahma, Veda, so many meanings. The word Brahma has many meanings. Here the word Brahma means Veda. Brahmanas Patihi, Brahmanaha Patihi. The master of the Vedas is the Veda Adhyapaka, the teacher of the Vedas. So Brahmanas Patihi, Punantu, Apaha Punantu. So properly speaking, Brahmanas Patihi should be in Dvitiya Vibhakti. But here Sayanacharya has taken it to be properly speaking, Brahmanas Patihi should be in Dvitiya Vibhakti, but the Veda mantra has used it in Prathama Vibhakti. So obviously we cannot restrict Veda's procedure, but Sayanacharya has shown that it is actually Dvitiya. Tatha Brahmanaha Vedasya Patihi Patim Pratipalakam Acharya Metaha Apaha Punantu. That is the way he has taken it. So may this water also not just purify the earth and myself, but may it also ensure that my Vedadhyapaka is pure. And in the same way, Brahma Puta Punatumam. So Puta Brahma. So Puta Brahma, the pure Veda, which is itself pure. So Brahma Puta Mam Punatu. So here Brahma means Veda. Brahma Puta, may the pure Veda. Again here Puta is in Strilinga, but properly speaking it should be Napunsakalinga to match with Brahma. Remember, we should never look at Vedic Sanskrit in the way that we look at Laukika Sanskrita. So in many places, yes, we rely on Panini to help us understand the Veda, but in certain places there are certain norms and means that Veda has that Laukika Sanskrita does not have. So we can look at many of those prayogas. For example, we have Bahuvor Balam in one place in Veda. So as per Panini, it should be Bahuvor Balam. So some things like that are there. In some places you will see Matrik Kachana Vidyate in Veda. But what it actually means is Madrik Kashchana Vidyate. For that, Veda says Matrik Kachana Vidyate. So why does Veda say that? We have no answer. Veda is Apaurushaya. This is not some Kalidas or Bhavabhuti that sat down and wrote these things down for fun as poetry. Right? These are Apaurushaya mantras, mantras that are not born of man, that rishis saw with their tapas. Anvaichan devas tapasashramena. That is how Veda itself describes it. So these mantras were seen with great tapas and great shrama, with great effort and with great tapas. These mantras were seen, they were not written. So therefore there are some things that we cannot change. I'm saying this because there's many of you that know Sanskrita, so you might wonder how on earth are Brahma and Puta, how do these have Visheshna Visheshya Bhava? Because they are not in the same linga. Here it means Putam Brahma, but the mantra here is Brahma Puta. These two have Samanadikaranya, take it or leave it. So in that way, may that pure Veda, which has been taught by a pure Adhyapaka, may that Veda purify me. And then we are seeking purification from certain papas that we may have done. Yaduchishtam abhojyam yadva dushcharitam mama sarvam punanta mamapaha asatancha pratigraham. So there are three specific papas and one general blanket statement being made here. So the three papas we are seeking refuge from or release from are Uchishta Bhakshana, Abhojya Bhakshana, Asat Pratigrahana, and then general Dushcharita. So there is a difference between Uchishta and Abhojya. Uchishta, keep in mind, especially for those in the Vedika Marga, Uchishta should not be eaten at all. Uchishta is something that you have to stay as far away from as possible. Uchishta literally means the remains. Shishta and Uchishta. Shishta is leftover. Uchishta means that which has been left over. So if someone has been eating from something and something else is left, that is Uchishta. So that should not be eaten. So if I have unknowingly partaken of that Uchishta, may this jala that I am taking in with this mantra, may it protect me from that. And then Abhojyam. Abhojyam means Bhojya, Bhoktum Yogyam, Bhojyam. Bhoktum Ayogyam, Abhojyam. That which should not be eaten. Right? So things like garlic, onion, things like these that should not be eaten. Food that has touched hair or hair itself, nails, these kinds of things should not be eaten. But if knowingly or unknowingly I have eaten them, then please protect me from that papa as well. And then Asat Pratigraha. So if at all you need to accept something, you need to make sure it should be from a Satpurusha. Because when people give an item, it is not just the item that is being given. There are forces, there are more subtle aspects at work as well. Right? Just as we believe that the sentiments or the emotions that someone feeds us with also become ingested, in the same way, the emotions that someone gives as a gift, the emotions that accompany someone that gives us a gift will also accompany the gift. So it is important that we ensure that if we accept anything, we should accept as little as possible. We should not be too nonchalant about accepting things. But if we accept things, it should be from Satpurushas and not from Asatpurushas. So whatever dosha there is from me accepting something from an Asatpurusha, we ask that this water purify us from that. And then in the end, Yadva Dushcharitam, and whatever other misdemeanors I may have committed, whatever other adharmic acts I have committed, may all of that, Mam Apaha Punantu, may these waters protect me, purify me from all of those. And then Swaha. Swaha is used when something is being offered. So Swahakara is used when something is being offered to the Devatas. So what does Sayanacharya say Swaha means here? Tadartham idam abhimantrita mudakam swaha madiya vaktragno swahutam astu. So may it be well offered. Suahutam, swahutam, that is swaha. So may it be offered into the fire of my mouth. May this jala therefore be offered into the fire of my mouth in order that all of these papas not touch me. So that is the first part. So this is what is told in the afternoon. The mantras told for the same kriya, for Jalapana only, the mantras change in the morning and the evening. So in the morning it is Suryashtamavanyashta, in the evening it is Agnishtamavanyashta. Both of these are pretty much the same. Only difference is in the morning you'll have Suryascha Mamanyascha and Yad Ratriya Papmakarsham. Surya Jyotisha Johami Swaha in the morning. In the evening you will have Agnishcha Mamanyascha Ahastadavalumpato Satya Jyotisha Johami. So small changes just based on the time of day, but otherwise the meanings of the mantras are mostly the same. So it is enough if you look at one of those and then the rest will follow. So the mantra is Agnishcha Mamanyascha Manyupatayascha Manyukritebhyaha Papebhyo Rakshantam Yadanha Papamakarasham Manasa Vacha Hastabhyam Padbyam Udarena Shishna Ahastadavalumpatu Yatkincha Duritam Mai Idamaham Mam Amritayono Surya Satya Jyotisha Johami Swaha. This is the mantra. So, who are we praying to here? Agnishcha Mamanyascha Manyupatayascha Manyukritebhya Papebhyo Rakshantam. So we pray to Agni, Manyu and the Manyu Patis. So we pray first to the Agni, who is the Abhimani Devata of the Sayam Sandhya. So Agni is the principal deity of the Sayam Sandhya. So first we ask Agni, and then Manyushcha, the Krodha Devata, the Devata that is the manifestation of anger. So we ask that Devata as well as Manyu Patayascha, the Devatas that control anger. Manyu Niyamakaha, Manyu Patayaha, Krodha Swaminaha, Tan Niyamakaha Devaha. So there is one Devata that is of the form of anger. There are other Devatas that cause anger. So we ask all of these Devatas only one thing. Manyu Kritebhya Papebhyo Rakshantam. May you protect all of us from the sins that are caused by anger. This is a very heavy statement, and because this comes, I will take a quick jump to another Veda mantra that I have intended to talk about that is very important during Upakarma. So there are two mantras called the Kamokarshin mantra and the Manyarakarshin mantra. These we do japa of during Upakarma, and they also find a place in our daily Sandhyavandana. Some people just say Kamokarshin Namo Namaha, Manyarakarshin Namo Namaha, Kamokarshin Namo Namaha, Manyarakarshin Namo Namaha. Some people just say this. Some people tell the whole mantra. Kamokarshe namo namaha, kamokarshit kamah karoti naham karomi kamah karta naham karta kamah karita naham karita eshate kama kama yasvaha. Manyarakarshe namo namaha, manyarakarshin manyah karoti naham karomi manyah karta naham karta manyah karita naham karita eshate manyo manyave svaha. So these are the mantras. So these mantras are actually quite important because, as I said, one of the main goals of these Nitya Karmas and Sandhyavandana is to make sure that we reduce our papas and reduce our papa samskaras. So what is the cause of doing papa? Because generally speaking, we are not bad people. We generally have a conscience that tells us what to do. We generally do not wish to harm anyone for no reason. We intend to do the right thing, whether we have the strength to cast off the laziness to do the right thing or not, or whether we have the strength to cast off the fear to do the right thing or not is different, but we do wish to do the right thing, generally speaking. So why is it that sometimes we still end up doing the wrong thing? This is a moral question that has been plaguing humanity since humanity could conceive of this notion. So Arjuna asks in Gita, Atha kena prayuktoyam papancharati purushaha anichannapi varshneya baladiva niyojitaha. So in many cases, purushaha anichannapi, he does not want to commit a papa, but baladiva niyojitaha, as if someone is forcing him to commit a papa, he still ends up doing it. Why is this, Krishna? And then Krishna replies, Kama eshaha, Krodha eshaha, Rajoguna samudbhavaha, Mahashino mahapapma, Vidhi enam iha vairinam. So it is Kama and it is Krodha that push the person to do this. Why is that? Dhomena vriyate vanhihi, yathadarsho malena cha, yatholvena avrito garbha, tatha tenedam avritam, avritam jnanametena jnanino nityavairina, Kamarupena kaunteya, dushpurena nalena cha. Kama and Krodha. So we say Kama and Krodha, these two are more or less the same thing. So Bhagavad Pada also writes, Kamaha sarva anarthakari pratihata kamasyeva krodhatmakatvat. Bhagavad Pada says. So Kama when denied becomes Krodha. Right? We say also there also Kamat Krodha vijayate. So Krodha is nothing but the effect of Kama being denied. Or Kama when denied becomes Krodha. A desire when denied manifests as anger. You get angry that that desire has been denied. You get angry towards those who have denied you that. You get angry towards those items sometimes that have been denied. You get angry towards the circumstances. You get angry at Bhagavan sometimes. You get angry at everything except yourself. Your very self, your own body and mind that have caused you to incur that papa and have put you in that situation. You curse everything except that. Which is why right before Karna is killed, he begs Arjuna for mercy. He says, please don't kill me, please don't kill me. You are stopping dharma. Karna is still fighting. He has the bow in his hand. We should read Mahabharata and then speak. Karna did not stop fighting. Arjuna did not kill an unarmed Karna that was trying to lift a wheel. Arjuna killed Karna that was still fighting him and shooting arrows at him. So as that is still happening, Karna says, hey Arjuna, cheating. you should not be shooting at me. And then Krishna very nicely says, Krishna is the karma phala pradata. Remember, Krishna did not tell anyone in Mahabharata to do adharma. Krishna very nicely reminds Karna of all the adharma he has done. Was it not you that told Draupadi's vastras to be removed? It is Karna that suggested the vastrapaharana. It was not Duryodhana, it was not Dushasana. It was Karna that told Draupadi's vastrapaharana to happen. It was Karna that went behind and broke Abhimanyu's bow out of his own will. Duryodhana did not ask him. Dronacharya did not ask him. Dronacharya only said, as long as Abhimanyu has a bow in his hand, we cannot kill him. It was Karna that went behind a 16-year-old boy on his own and broke his bow, and then fell upon him with many other veeras to kill him. So Karna has done all of this. It is Karna who gave the idea to go to the Ghosha Yatra while the Pandavas were in the forest to go and torment them. So after all of this, Karna is now acting like a victim. Karna was a victim of some circumstances, but he made himself a victim of other circumstances. And Krishna, as the karma phala pradata, as the Ishvara that sees everything, he did not bite. And then he says, Dishtya smarasiha dharmam. Very sarcastic. Karna, it is very fortunate that at least now you remember dharma. And then he tells a sequence of shlokas, reminding Karna where all he committed adharma, and the makuta of all of these shlokas is Sate dharma kvagataha, Kate dharmas tadagataha, Kate dharmas, where did your dharma go then? Where did your dharma go then? And then in the end, he says, Krishna says, and this is where I am coming to, Prayena nichaha vyasane nimagnaha nindanti daivam kukritam natuswam. A beautiful shloka that we need to remember as we do this Kamo Karshit, Manyara Karshit Japa. So, Prayena Nichaha Vyasane Nimagnaha. Whenever low-minded people find themselves in calamities or predicaments, what do? Nindanti Daivam. They end up cursing God. They curse their fate. They curse the circumstances. They curse the people around them. They get angry at the people around them. They get angry at Bhagavan, why did you do this to me? As if Bhagavan has nothing better to do. But Kukritam natuswam, swam kukritam nanindanti. But yet they do not curse themselves who have committed adharma. They curse Bhagavan, they curse their fate, they curse the world around them, they curse their parents, they curse their guru, they yell at everyone around them. But they do not curse themselves who have committed the adharma whose fruit they are now experiencing. So that happens because Kama and Krodha close our eyes when you do a papa karma. They Jnanenam avritam jnanametena. The knowledge that all of us have gets shadowed by Kama or Krodha. That desire for that particular object at that time just closes it. It shuts out whatever conscience is speaking to us. The anger that you have at that point shuts out whatever rational voice is there in your head. Hanuman says in Sundarakanda, Kruddho hanyad gurunapi. Someone that is angry will not have yukta vichakshana. They will not think, is this proper or improper? Kruddho hanyad gurunapi, Hanuman says. Krodha is someone that is angry, will even kill a guru. The most heinous, the most dastardly, the most lowly of sins, the killing of a guru, can be committed by someone that is angry, because that rationale in their head will be utterly covered. That is why they say it, you see red. Your entire gaze is covered by the redness of that anger. So, it is important that we do these nitya karmas so that Kama and Krodha do not cover us like that. Because Kama and Krodha, as we see right here, when we say Kama karoti rahat karumi, manyuh karoti, manya means anger. So when you say manyushcha, agdishcha ma manyushcha, or when you say Kamo karshin namo namaha, manyura karshin namo namaha, you are not praying just to the feelings or the sentiments of desire or anger. And Kama is not just desire between a man and a woman or something like that. It is any desire that you have. It can be desire for an object, desire for a position, desire for wealth, desire for a home. Any desire you have falls under the gamut of kama. Kamyate kamaha. That which is desired is kama. So these things are not just feelings that you have. There are abhimani devatas to it. By worshipping those devatas, by seeking the grace of those devatas, by propitiating those devatas, we can ensure that the devata that governs those emotions and those feelings apply those feelings to us rationally, because kama and krodha are necessary. Is that very same Bhagavan that says kamesha krodhesha, says kama is a vairi. Papmanam prajahihyanam jnana vijnana nashanam jahishatrum mahabaho kamarupam durasam. He says kill this shatru named kama. But it is the same Bhagavan that says dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi. I am kama, that does not contradict dharma. I am that kama. He says that dharmic desire is my form, is my swarupa. So kama and krodha are not wrong per se, and Rama also shows anger in many places. Rudra is angry for a reason. Right? There are many devatas that are depicted as angry. Durga is angry. Chandi, we do Chandi Parayana. The word Chandi itself means a lady who is angry. A woman who is angry is called Chandi. Chanda means angry. Chandi is Strilinga. So we do pray to Bhagavan's anger because that anger is applied to dharma for dharma. We should get angry for dharma. We should not get angry for adharmic things. In the same way, we should have desire for dharmic things. We should not have desire for adharmic things. Now, we will do our level effort. As sadhakas, we should and we must do our level effort to control our mind, to make sure that our kama does not seep into adharmic situations, to make sure that our anger does not seep into adharmic situations, to make sure that our kamas are dharmic, to make sure that our anger is dharmic. As sadhakas, that is our job. But we must also seek Ishvara's anugraha in that. And that will be done when you seek the grace of the kama devata and the krodha devata. You ask, please do not take hold of me in improper situations. Please make sure that you only propel my mind towards good. That is dhiyo yona prachodayat. That is what we are asking Ishvara. Please put my mind towards dharma. Please put my mind towards tattva. Please put my mind towards jnana. So therefore we seek the grace of the kama devata and the krodha devata, so that they may catch hold of us at the right time and let us go at the right time. Which is why in that mantra, kamo karshit namo namah. It is kama that has made me do this papa. It is not I, the Satchidananda Swarupa, but I, the Purusha with Viveka, endowed with discrimination knowledge, have been pushed to do this by kama or manyu or anger. Anger has pushed me to do this. So therefore, kama karayita. Kama is the one that made me do this. Or manyu karayita. Manyu is the one that made me do this. So therefore, esha manyu, manyavesaha. Here, take this offering. Whatever you have done, I am offering to you. Please let me go and please take care of me. Do not make me do another papa because of you. Please make me do only dharma because of you. So that is the meaning of the Kamo Karshin mantra and the Manyara Karshin mantra. So those are very important mantras that also come in Sandhyana that we need to tell. So in the same way, in this mantra also, Agnischa ma manyuscha manyushcha manyupatayascha. O Agni, O Manyu, O Krodha. Right? We get Namaste Rudra Manyave. So the first namaskara that you do is to Rudra. Namaste Rudra Manyava Utota Ishave Namaha. The first namaskara and Rudra is to his anger, because that anger is dharma swarupa. So namaskara to your dharmic fury. The dharmic fury is the fury that is the Rama Bana. That fury embodies itself as Rama during war. That fury embodies itself as Narasimha killing Hiranyakashipu. That fury embodies itself as Durga killing Mahishasura. That fury embodies itself as Shiva, as Rudra, as killing Gajasura, as Shiva being Kalakala, as Shiva doing Manmatha Dahana. So that anger, whatever Krodha Devata there is, O Krodha Devata. The same way Manyu Pataya, O Devatas that control anger, Namaskara to all of you. So what should you all do? Rakshantam, please protect me. From what? Papebhyo Manyukritebhyaha. Please protect me from papas that are done out of anger. So which means there are some papas I have done out of anger. The papas I have done, I must and will and have to bear the fruit for. There is no force in heaven and hell that can make you escape the fruit of the karma that you have done. If you do something, you will end up experiencing the fruit of it. But what these devatas can do is they can mitigate the result of that papa. They can ensure that this papa's fruit does not come at an inconvenient time. They can ensure that the papa does not work too much, does not wreak too much havoc on our peace of mind. So there is still some things that can be done by these devatas even though we have incurred papa. So please protect me from those papas, or it can also mean protect me from the papa samskaras. Because as I said, if someone lies, it becomes a force of habit. So that force of habit is referred to as samskara. So as you know, right, the more you lie, the easier it gets to lie. The more you steal, the easier it is to steal. The more you curse, the easier it is to curse. The more you get angry, the easier it is to get angry. The more you cheat, the easier it is to cheat. So therefore, there is a samskara that builds up with every papa that we commit. So may you release us from those papa samskaras. Even the thought of doing a papa should not come up. And then we say yavanha papamakarasham. So all those papas that I have done by day, and then all the indriyas are called karanas, instruments. So all the indriyas that I could have possibly used to do papas with, may all the papas done with those indriyas, may those be purified. So then all the indriyas will start manasa, vacha, hastabhyam, padbhyam, udarena, shishna, ahastadavalumpatu. So may ahaha tadavulumpatu. May the day, may the Abhimani Devata of the day, and may you Agni, may you all remove those papas, the papas done by manasa, by the mind, such as parahimsa. Sayanacharya writes here. Sayanacharya writes out all the papas that are done with each indriya. Parahimsadi chintanam manasam papam. So the papa done with the manas is even thinking of ill to others, even thinking of adharmic activities. That is a manasa papa. Papa done with the mind. So such papas. Vacha, papa done with vacha kritam duritam. So yatkincha duritam mai. So that is where the anvaya is. So vacha duritam, manasa duritam, hastabhyam duritam, padbhyam duritam. That is how the anvaya is. So vacha, all the papas I have done with my mouth, with my speech, such as apriya, anrita adi bhashanam vachikam. So speaking harshly or speaking lies, not speaking the truth. These are all sins papas committed by speech. Hastabhyam, abhichara homadikam, hastakritam. So doing improper karma, doing wrong karma is the papa done with the hands. Padbhyam, padena, vobrahmana sparshadikam padakritam. Touching cows, touching learned scholars, touching elders with the feet. Touching cows with the feet, touching elders with the feet, touching books with the feet, touching respected things with the feet. These are papas done by the padas, the feet. Padbhyam, udarena. Then there are some things that are done with the stomach. Abhojya bhojanam udarakritam. As I said earlier, right? Eating things that should not be eaten. When that food is digested, that papa is done by the stomach. Right? So whatever papas have been done by the stomach. Shishna means the guhya, the upastha, the genital organ. So whatever papas have been done by that. And then yatkincha duritamai. If there is anything I have forgotten in this list, whatever papa that is there, that duritam mai, whatever that there is, so that duritam, that papa, and also mam, tat kartaram, so me. So who is the karta? Saranacharya very nicely says here, mam cha linga sharira rupam. So it is the linga sharira that carries around the tags of all these papas that we do. What is the linga sharira? Manas, jnane, the antahkarana, jnanendriya panchaka, karmendriya panchaka, prana panchaka. So the 5 pranas, the 5 jnanendriya. So the indriyas used to get knowledge. Chakshu shrotra jihva grana re. Chakshu shrotra jihva grana tvak. These are the 5 jnanendriyas. And the 5 karmendriyas. Vak, pani, pada, payu, upastha. These are the 5 indriyas with which we do things. 5 jnanendriyas are the 5 indriyas by which you perceive things. Those, and then as well as the manas. And then the 5 pranas, the prana, apana, udana, samana, vyana. These are the 5 pranas. So all of these constitute the linga sharira. So this is what that papa attaches itself to, because it is the linga sharira that goes from jiva, from body to body. When this body falls, it is the linga sharira that leaves this body to go to the other. So because the papas need to be experienced by the same jiva, the papas latch on to this linga sharira and accompany it. So therefore, we are asking for the shuddhi of the linga sharira, because that is where the papa is. The durita needs to be washed, and this linga sharira also needs to be washed of its duritas. So yatkincha duritam mayi idam aham mam. And then where are we? We are juhomi. I am offering all of this. What am I offering? Where am I offering all of this into? So this durita and myself. Where am I offering it into? Amrita Yono Satye Jyotishi. In the night we say Satye Jyotishi, in the morning we say Surya Jyotishi. So into that Jyotishi, into that Swayam Prakasha Jyoti, into that self-effulgent fire, that is Satya, that is truth, that is Brahman. And Amrita Yono, it is the root, the cause of Amrita, Amritatva, Amritapadam, Amritatva Atra. So Amrita means, Amrita Yoni means that which is the cause of immortality, Brahma, right? Because only by attaining Brahma, you will get Nanyaf Pantha Vidyate Ayanaya, Atra Brahma Samashnate, all of that is there. Tamevam Viditva Amritatva Tamevam Vidvan Amritaiha Bhavati, right? All of that is there. So only through knowing Brahman, you will become Amrita, deathless, immortal. So that Amrita Yoni is that Brahman. So into that self-effulgent Satya means that immutable, constant Jyoti, that is Brahman. Into that I offer all of this. Into that fire of knowledge, right? Because Brahman is Jnana. Into that fire of Chaitanya, I offer my Papa and my polluted Linga Sharira for purification. Jyotishi Vastuni, Swayam Prakashi Vastuni, Juhomi, Prakshipami, Aham Anena Homena Tatsarvam Bhasmi Karomi Tirthaha. So Juhomi means I offer my Papa into this fire to render it to ashes. Whatever is left must be pure. And then therefore, Surya Jyotish Juhomi. And then after that, Swaha Kara is for the water, right? As you said earlier, Swaha means I am taking the water, and same thing here. Tadartham idam abhimantritam jalam swaha madiya vaktragno swahutamastu. So therefore, so that this kind of a shuddhi can be attained, I seek that this water be entered into me. So then you take the water into, you put the water into the fire of your mouth and you say swaha. So after telling this mantra, only after telling the mantra, you say swaha and then you consume the water. Same mantra is repeated in the morning, except you say suryashcha. There is Agni, here you say Surya. Instead of saying by day, yadanha, here you say yadratriya, by night. And you say instead of Satya Jyotish Juhomi, you say Surya Jyotish Juhomi, Amrita Yono. So that same Parabrahma is present as Surya also. So into that Surya we offer this. So these are just some of the mantras. So which mantras have we covered? Apah Punant Prasidim is one mantra. Then Agdishcha Mamanyuscha, Suryashcha Mamanyuscha, and the Kavokarshin mantra and the Manyurakarshin mantra. So these are the mantras that occur in Sandhyavandana that the Rishis have put in place for us to make sure that we get rid of our Papa Samskaras and we mitigate the effects that the Papas we do on a daily basis come to us. So there is a reason why Nitya Karma, Tapasa Kilvisham Hanti, is what Manusmriti says. Vidyaya Amritamashmate. So only through these karmas, Tapobhi Kshena Papanam, says Bhagavad Pada, right? Through tapas is what? Dharmanusthana. Tapas Swadharma Vartitvam. See, everything is linked. So we say Tapobhi Kshena Papanam. So we say through tapas, those people that have reduced their papas, for them jnana sadhana becomes easy. So only through tapas, papas will reduce. What is tapas? Yudhishthira says it in the Yaksha Prashna. Tapas Swadharma Vartitvam. Tapas is the performance of dharma strictly. Strict adherence to dharma is the best form of tapas, he says. So that is why all of this has been given to us as dharma. So if we do all of this, if we do all of this with Shraddha, if we do all of this as per Shastra, if we do all of this as per Parampara, right? Imam parampara praptam evam parampara praptam evam rajarshayo viduhu. So all of these knowledge that we have is parampara praptam. The rishis have given this to us. They have literally handcrafted and given it to us with their own hands. So these dharmas, if we follow, surely we can, and if we know the meaning also, surely we will find some respite from the papas that we commit and from the papa samskara. See, papas are one thing. It does not mean that you go out, lie, come back and do Sandhyavandana, it will magically disappear. As I said, you will have to undergo the fruit of that. But when the papa samskara is washed off the linga sharira, when the papa samskara is washed out of the antahkarana, it will prevent you from doing papas in the future. You will be left a more pure person. Your mind gets purified. And it is one thing if you just mechanically do Sandhyavandana and go, the mantra will have its fruit. But knowing the meaning of this mantra, knowing the mercy that the rishis and mahapurushas and the Jagadgurus and the Gurus have upon us to give us this sampradaya, knowing that if we do Sandhyavandana, how much greater will be the effect in getting us the chitta shuddhi that karma is meant to get. How much easier will it be for us to attain the purity of heart that is conducive to knowledge. How much easier will it be for us to attain the purity that renders it much easier for one to get Guru Kataksha. So with that in mind, the rishis have given us these mantras. So it is imperative that everyone that has had Upanayana does this Sandhyavandana with Shraddha. It is imperative that the parents first and foremost inculcate that Shraddha in the child, because I can say without doubt from what I have seen, parents complain, my son does not sit for Sandhyavandana, he does not have focus on Sandhyavandana, he does not have any interest in it. Why will he even have interest if he does not see the father doing it? I can say that in 95% of the cases that I have seen in my very limited amount of time that I have even been doing Sandhyavandana myself, I think just over about a decade and a half I have been doing Sandhyavandana. So I have seen in many families that in families where the father has been doing Sandhyavandana even before the child was born, the child has no problem doing Sandhyavandana. It is only when the child is in a house wherein the child has not seen Sandhyavandana being performed regularly, and the father will only start maybe 2 or 3 months before the Upanayana happens, that the child does not see the need to do Sandhyavandana because it is not a part of his life. On the other hand, if the child sees Sandhyavandana ever since he learns to see, if the child grows up with Sandhyavandana in the house, why will he be averse to it? In whatever examples I have seen, that is not the case. So the imperatum falls on the parents as well to make sure that the necessary environment, the necessary Shraddha is created in the household itself for the child to do Sandhyavandana. If not, we will be causing our children to miss out on the effects of these mantras. Who is there that can say that, no, I do not need Kama and Krodha to be mitigated, I would like them to do Pralaya Tandava in my head whenever I wish them to come? Who is there among us that would wish that upon ourselves or upon anyone for that matter? So it is on us if we wish that our own Papa Pravritti, our own Papas be mitigated, if our own conduct to be purified, if we wish our mind to be purified, that we without fail do Sandhyavandana, tell these mantras, know that we have learnt the meanings of these mantras, that we keep these meanings in mind as we do Sandhyavandana and as we conduct ourselves even in day-to-day proceedings. It is imperative that we do so. In the next session, we will do the Gayatri Avahana Mantra, Ayato Varada Devi. In that we will be talking about the Gayatri Mantra. So I said, Nitya Karmas have 2 portions. One portion is the reduction of Papa. The second part is the attainment of Punya through Dhyana of Bhagavan. And also doing Upasana of Bhagavan, meditating upon Bhagavan, worshipping Bhagavan, and thereby asking Bhagavan to guide us in our path for knowledge and dharma, of jnana and dharma. So those will come. So we'll get the Gayatri Avahana, and we'll get the Pranayama. So what is it that we should be doing during Pranayama? That will come within the Pranayama itself. We'll get the Gayatri Mantra and we'll talk about the meaning of Gayatri then. And then in the last thing that we'll talk about in that session, we will also have one more mantra that talks about the Swarupa of Gayatri. What is the nature of the Gayatri Devata? Right? We say Mukta Vidramahyamena Dhalachchaye, but this Gayatri is a mantra, right? The mantra is manifest as a Devata. So the Gayatri mantra is about Savita. It is addressed to Savita. Yo Devas Savita. Right? Savitur Varenyam Bhargaha. Devasi Savitur Varenyam Bhargaha. But the Chandas is Gayatri, and therefore the Devata also is also Gayatri Mata, the Veda Mata. So how is it that the Rishis have seen that Gayatri Mata? What is her true form? What is the nature of that form? What is the sign? What is the Shastra behind all that form? All these answers are given to us through mantras, and that is what we will see in the next session. Until then, I bid you all a very happy Guru Purnima. May we pray to the Padapadmas of the Ubhay Jagat Gurus that the Guru Kripa always be with us and help us to perform our dharma ever more faithfully and properly. And with these few words, I will take my leave and we will meet in the next session. Ityesha Vagmayi Puja Srimad Shankarapadayor Arpita Dena Devesha Priyatam Me Sadashivah Tava Tatvanna Janami Kidrishosi Maheshwara Yadrishosi Mahadeva Tadrishaya Namo Namaha Mangalam Stambha Dimbhaya Mangalam Mrityu Vrityave Mangalam Rudra Rupaya Naya Simhaya Mangalam